is I made up in my mind that I was not gonna let anybody else talk me out of it. Or at this point, I knew enough of what I wanted to produce that I didn't need another contribution.
Yeah.
Because contribution sometimes will throw you off. Somebody else's opinion will kind of sway you because they're thinking from their own personal
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Comfort or need, and will not intentionally, but then will sway you to the right or to the left out of your idea.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Deep MCs, the podcast that seeks to push meaningful conversation to a whole new level. Whether it's for your entertainment or your personal growth, we appreciate you being here today. And now, on to the show. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro?
Back at it again.
Yes, sir.
One more. Normally we discuss what music we're gonna have. I didn't really pick. I just panicked and pushed the button. So hopefully this one will be
It works.
yeah, it'll work.
This is one of our favorites, I think, anyway.
Yeah. So what are we getting into today?
Man, we digging into mental health, man. We hadn't really jumped into it like we had done before. So today we're getting personal. We're choosing yourself for sanity. Like you're choosing your own personal sanity.
Yes, own personal sanity. It's personal for me.
It's personal for me too.
Yeah, it is. I think that is that's a hard one, man, because I guess maybe some of the struggles that I'm going through right now for myself, it's always hard to decide what is okay and acceptable to do. And
Hold on, before you do that, I have a question, because it just triggered a question before you even get that other thought out. It already triggered a question, and I'm asking myself at the same time, why? Why is it so hard for us to choose the thing that we feel like is best to do for us?
I mean, I think that it's always hard to do the right thing, right?
Is it?
Yeah, because in all aspects, right? Like the easy way isn't always the best way, right? And it's like one of those things, like the truth hurts, but it has to be told, right? All those fucking, what are those things called? Them shits that people say. What I don't know what the fuck they're called. If somebody knows what I'm talking about and the word I'm looking for, but it's always hard to choose the right thing, because it's usually, especially in this day and age,
is it the right thing because it's yours? Thing. Because we're talking about us, right?
Yeah.
Because my biggest issue, right, is choosing the right thing when it pertains to me.
Well, yeah, but that's usually because when you have to make those decisions, I think when it comes down to choosing the right thing for you, it's plagued by everybody else.
Of course, you have all of these other considerations that have to be made.
And that's what makes it hard, because it's like the right thing for you may be to run down the street buck naked. I don't know, right? But then that affects everybody that is involved in that, and then you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't. For me, I can say that it definitely is a hard thing for me to do, because it does, like, as much as I hate people, I care about the people that are in my life, and I don't like hurting people in my life per se, right? So doing the right thing for me, if anybody knows me, usually means pushing everybody else out or away who are either distractions or not benefiting my cause. But then that seems very almost selfish in a way, right? Because then you're not supposed to be selfish, but it's still considered to be a selfish thing. And I don't know.
I remember, when my son was growing up, or I mean, he's still growing up, but when he was smaller, right? And he would have a toy, and you would take the toy, and he'd be like, "No, mine."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Don't be selfish," but it was his. It was his toy, right? It was. And so when you think about it, we condition ourselves to give up our stuff, right? Even from that age, right? I'm conditioned. No, that's not good. That's not nice. And we're drilling that in, that if somebody takes something from you, it's almost okay because you're supposed to share all of your stuff, right? But maybe that was his favorite toy. And no, he didn't want to share it. And maybe that was okay. And so I think there's some things that we have to recondition as adults.
Yeah.
That we've laid in as foundational, right? This is my moral fiber. This is who I'm built on. And sometimes we feel like we're contradicting our own moral capacity when we do something for ourselves, when we say, no, that's mine.
Yeah.
When it actually is.
I mean,
it's not like I stole it.
This is, well, I would argue that the toy was probably yours because he didn't have a job.
He didn't have a job, but I gave it to him, right? Yeah.
To pay for that. But yeah, no, I mean, we do condition at an early age for that. And that's, I guess that's hard, man, because then, it's pre-programmed. Well, not pre-programmed, it's programmed into you that that's something that you need to always do, or if you care, or if you like someone.
This
right?
is how you're supposed to care.
You're supposed to care by
right.
doing these things. And yeah, I mean, I guess because I've been on the backside of that though too, right? Because people do that for me, like, oh, this is how I care, so I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna share, and I don't want
but
that.
you don't want it.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want that. Right? But then then they're like, well, what the fuck?
Right.
Right. This is how I care. Well, no, you can care by not caring. That shows that you care, and then you blow their fucking mind.
To be a caring person in this circle, in this line rather, is interesting.
It's a difficult.
It's not difficult. It's not difficult. All it is it's different, right? And that's okay, because every relationship. I think the part of the problem that we all have. And I'm seeing this, the more and more I go in and actually read the stuff I wrote, the more and more I'm seeing this.
Link in the description below to the book.
Yeah.
In the description below. Selfless plug. There we go.
It wasn't actually. But what I'm saying is, I can't stop laughing now. You made me lose my thought, man. It was a good one too, dude.
In the book, when you're reading what you wrote,
that wasn't even the thought. The thought was, dang it. Go ahead, man.
We will link in the description below for the book, so everybody can go get there and buy their copy. But no, yeah, it is hard because especially as you get older, or I get older, and then you start to look at time and the amount of time. Not saying that, I only got so much time left, which I mean, I guess we all do at some point, on some level. But just using the time to accomplish more, and how much time was, I don't want to say wasted, because wasted always sounds bad, because everybody's like, man, I wasted so much time. Like, no, you didn't waste it. You were doing what you felt was the best thing
right
at that time. Right.
I agree with that.
So that being said though, like, I go back and I look, whether it's 5 years back, 10 years back, 15 years back, and you look at all the time, that could have been better, could have been tweaked, could have been this, could have been that, and you look at where you're at right now, and then you start to question, like, if you're not happy, which I think what we're finding is there's a lot of unhappy people out there now, right? They may not openly admit it, but they're stuck in that circle,
It's because we're giving everything away, man.
Giving.
And we're not doing anything. You're not happy because you're actually not doing anything for you.
Yes.
You're doing everything. This is how we started it, right? You're doing everything for everybody else. And so there's nothing that refills your tank, right? There's nothing that, this was my thought, right? This was my thought for a few minutes ago.
There we go. We got it.
Jump back in. And so we were talking about relationships, right? And how one is hard or one is different. And I think the problem is we approach all relationships similarly.
Yeah.
So I come into this relationship and this is what I bring to the table, and I'm going to operate the same way because this is me. But the problem is you have different life experiences. I have different life experiences. Anybody else does the same, right? And so for us to approach them all the same way, we never get the full value of those friendships because we're always trying to cater to it in a way that's comfortable to me, as opposed to really digging into who that person is, what makes them tick. If you don't like gifts, well, dog, I'm not finna spend my money. That's a waste of my money and my time and my energy to do that, right? Yep. If I know that you would prefer just, hey, send a text and, hey, just checking on you and leave it, that's easy. Right? I mean, it's those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
And then when we come sit down at the podcast, we'll chop it up.
And say whatever we need to say.
And so, I mean, it's learning those things, because then that makes it easier, because then I don't feel like I've given more than what I had to give. I gave what was necessary for this particular relationship, and now I don't feel like I didn't get back something. Right.
No, I agree with that 100%, but then you have, right, so then on the other side of the coin, it's you have the ones that are like, okay, well, that's going one way, right? So then what goes the other way? Because it should be like a reciprocating thing, and it's meeting. I get, maybe for me, right, in my group or my circle, it is harder, right? It's easier to give less. Mm-hmm. It's harder to give more, if that makes sense. So everybody can follow me out here, because my mind's fucked up. So for people that are coming to me, like, I don't necessarily ask for much. So if people come from like a very giving world, like, yeah, it may be hard for them to understand that they don't have to give as much.
I got you.
Right? Mm-hmm. So they can give less, and it's easy because they don't have to go and plan and do this and do that. Like, I can just do this and it's done. But then for me to try to meet them to where like I'm doing for them or whatever, like, it is very difficult for me to give more because that's not how I am. Mm-hmm. Right? So it feels very one-sided. At least for me, it feels very one-sided, because like, I don't want to say I feel selfish, but like, I don't have that capacity.
You actually are a very giving person. I don't know if you realize that.
Well, depends who you talk to.
Well, all I know is A to B, right? So I'm not digging into any other ones.
Yeah.
All I can tap into is this one. And man, I hadn't seen them. There's been a moment. I'll show up and there's something I didn't know I was getting, right? There's a surprise. Right. And you, hey, I got me one, I got you one. And those, that'll freak you out, right? Or you'll be like, oh, okay, thank you. But then on the back end of it, you're like, why you bought me this? I get it.
Bullshit.
I get that. But nevertheless, you still you're thoughtful in those ways, right? And I think you're being harder on yourself than what was actually there, right? We're talking about ourselves today, right?
Yeah.
And so I think in this instance, all I can talk about is our interactions. Yeah. You are giving in a lot of areas, right? We were just talking about some extra equipment that we don't even need. But here it is, right? We're going to have some new equipment and he's just going to get it.
Well, yeah, because that's for us. I mean, it's still on I got a pre-order, or I'm waiting for it to ship. So
I was just informed. It wasn't like I was asked about it. It was like, hey, this is what I like about it. This is what's going on, and it's on pre-order.
It's on pre-order. But yeah, I mean, I guess in that instance, yeah. I mean, it all depends on. So then,
let me introduce. Oh, okay, got it. Perfect. I didn't know anything about metals, like precious metals, right?
Yeah.
I started talking to somebody who knows a lot about them, and not only did he educate me, but gave me a few pieces and said, here, like actually paid me for some services in precious metals, right? So here I am. Not only was there an education, but then there was also a physical kind of response to it that says, here, I'm gonna even start you off, right? And so in those instances, like those moments, and that's years ago,
right, yeah.
That's plenty of years ago, and I still remember it, right? And so those are moments where I believe and I know that in the right moment where you feel in like there's growth or there's development or there's something else, you pour into that, man. You pour into that easily.
I mean, sometimes I don't know. Again, I guess it depends on who you talk to.
You're right.
You're right. Because right now, like I feel for me, I can tell you right now, for me personally, there's gonna be a lot of change off camera, right? A lot of change off camera, a lot of stuff that I have to go through for me, because I'm having to choose myself, or getting to a point of choosing myself, and that is a very difficult thing, because as I go back and I think about it over the course of time, like I don't think that as much as as secluded as I am, or as much as I stay to myself, I don't think I've actually chosen myself.
Okay.
And I can't even tell you, because there's always like every move that I've made in my life was for a reason.
Okay.
And that reason generally was not for me.
Okay.
Right? It was either for someone else, or to help an issue, or whatever it is.
That's you giving.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just me trying to mitigate and control chaos that's happening around me. I mean,
that too.
It's been interesting, and there's a lot of people would say, oh, well, he did this, or he did that, or he did whatever, and that was just him like taking action, not acting as in a movie, because my acting career was ruined in Hawaii. but no, just they view it, right? Because everybody's lens is different.
Yeah, of course.
And everybody looks at it and says, oh, well, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing whatever, but they don't think that, like, well, he did it for a reason, he came here for a reason, whatever. People that really, really know me, or should know me, I would like to say that they know that everything I do is for a reason, for the most part, right? I don't, even though it seems like I just act wildly, it's not without some type of thought behind it, but yeah, going back to what I was saying, like, I need to make changes for me, and I think that a lot of people probably out here and listening, I say out here and I'm pointing to the camera, but if you're listening, you don't know that.
You're right.
That's just weird sometimes when I think about that. I'm saying, yeah, right out here, but we have an audio audience too, which, by the way, still don't know who I'm sidetracking, who Frankfurt, Germany is. Okay. Steady listening over in Frankfurt,
Germany. We appreciate you.
A lot, and picking up more people in Germany. Don't know who the hell they are, but they're listening.
It's okay.
Every week.
We appreciate you guys.
I do appreciate you. Would love to fucking hit me up. I'd love to talk to you. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, I don't even fucking remember what I was saying now. I got sidetracked by Frankfurt, Germany, and how they don't. This is a good segue to say how they don't like, comment, subscribe, and share, so I can figure out, you know, what's up. What the hell was I saying? I was talking about everybody out here. Oh yeah, going back to what I was saying is that I feel that there's a lot of people out there that they may call it stress or anxiety or whatever it is that they're experiencing in their life at this time, and they don't know how to deal with it. And really it just boils down to they're not taking the time to choose themselves. They're not taking the time to accomplish the goals that they set out to accomplish. They're not taking the time to, you know, step back and say, you know, this is what I need, or this is what I'm feeling, or, you know, whatever. And because that is right, like either it's a hard conversation, or they don't know how to start, or they don't know what to do, or whatever the situation is. And, you know, I think a lot of it has to do with feeling like a failure in a lot of ways, right? Because generally speaking,
that does what? Feeling like a failure does what?
creates the feeling, those anxieties or those stresses, or those whatever, right? Because you know, like, oh well, I can't pay my bills, I feel like a failure, or I'm not succeeding at my job, it's giving me anxiety, or you know, I wanna accomplish this task, but I don't know where to start, and that's stressing me out, or whatever the situation is. I don't know. It's everybody's situation is different. Everybody that's listening, watching, situation is different. And, you know, those are things, like if you accomplish those things, they will ease some of that weight off your shoulders, right? But they don't go after it or chase it or say, you know, hey, I need to step back and regroup, or whatever the situation is. They just continue every day with the same process, right? That same circle that we always talk about, you know, looping through, and they don't do anything that's going to benefit them in the long run. And so, like, I think people almost feel guilty in a way that, I don't want to say everybody, but I think there's a majority of people that feel guilty saying they need something that's just for them.
I think you have to, and this is something I've had to kind of work through and still working through. You have to carve out a moment for you, right? Whatever, because during the day, everybody's gonna pull on you. Life is gonna pull on you, right? At every moment, the moment you open your eyes, boom, it's running.
It's on.
It's on, and so life begins to pull immediately, right? With this that you have to do, with that you have to accomplish, with the schedule on here, work, family, friends, whatever it is, right? And you have all those things. Just like you schedule everybody else, you have to schedule you. And if until it begins to be second nature, you're gonna have to be intentional about taking a moment, a second. First, find out what you like to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
a lot of people don't know that.
A lot of people don't know. First, let's think about, what is it that you enjoy? What is it that allows your brain to relax? And for me, I mean, as a real life thing, for me, sitting by a body of water is, even if it's man-made at this point, I'll take what I can get, right?
Yeah.
And if it has like a little fountain where I can hear the noise of the water,
it's good.
It's good. And it'll 15, 20, if that's all I have, if I only have 20 minutes in my day, let me find that place on the way to work, right?
Yeah.
And sit there so that my day begins with me.
Yeah.
It begins with an opportunity, and I had to get back to that because I had lost it. And over the last, say, 2 months, I've been intentional about getting back to that place where, Aaron, at least you have to carve out this amount of time, because time, like you said, time is going to continue to move, and you can regret what you did with it, or you can be happy with what you did with it. And at least for 20 minutes out of my day, I'm going to be happy with at least 20 minutes out of my day.
Yeah.
At least 20.
That sounds bad to say.
But let's be honest, right?
24 hours.
Because I didn't have any.
Yeah.
Before, right? I wasn't happy with any minutes. So let me start with 15. Let me start with 20. Let me start with 10. Do you like to read? Do you like to ride a bike?
Hell no.
Whatever you like to do. Then carve out some time to at least sit down and plan it. Sit down and read about it. Sit down and look on the internet for it. Whatever it is, and begin to invest in those moments that are going to be life-giving back to you.
You know, you say that, and my mind split off into two separate things. I don't know why I looked at the camera when I said that's fucking weird. Also, you know what else I noticed is, in side note, someone pointed it out to me. Whenever I think, I stare off into space. I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just always do. Like, I'm always just staring off if I'm going through a process, whatever. Anyway, everybody's going to see it now in the video. And they're like, what the fuck is this motherfucker doing? That's my brain misfiring is what it is. But, so one of the things that you said is whatever you like to do, right? And I've had a lot of conversations over the course of my life, unfortunately. And it's kind of sad, but also very crazy to, as many people as I've talked to have no idea what they like to do. Like, none. Mm-hmm. Like, they've done things, they've had fun doing things, but they don't know because they get to a point, right, they're stressed out, or I think I need a new job, or I think, like, right, I think I need a new job, I can't do this anymore. All right, well, where do you want to work? Where do you see? I don't know. Right, yeah. Yeah, right. Like, I want a hobby. What do you like to do? I don't know. Yeah. Like, you never,
try.
over the course of your time, have you tried something?
At some point, you have to pick up a skateboard.
Yeah, I've picked one up,
and if that's try it. Okay, if that's not it, okay, boom, that's not it. Move on. Maybe you go pick up a scrapbook and some glue. Try it. Not for me, but not for me either.
Try it,
but try it, right?
You know.
And so I think we've put ourselves in this rut because not only do we not know, but we're not even willing to try.
Not even trying, you know. And which, side note, back in the day, I did try rollerblading. Okay. I went out. I bought myself some rollerblades, some nice ones. This shit was clean. Okay. Whoo, and bitches was fast and everything. This was in actually Hawaii. Okay. As a matter of fact.
Rollerblading in Hawaii.
Rollerblading.
That had to be beautiful.
It sounded like it was going to be beautiful. I went to the sporting goods store. I bought these bitches. This was back in the day, and they were probably about $100 and probably $30, something like that. This was decades ago, so that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Took that shit to my apartment. I put them bitches on. They had the little click, click, clack straps. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit this shit. I stood up in front of my door, pushed off, busted my ass, took them shits off, went right back inside and said, not for me. So, not for me. I had no control. You can't catch yourself. I was like, I'm gonna die.
Let's put a check on that because you tried.
I tried. And
you tried.
I can't skate. I know I can't skate. To this day, I can't fucking skate.
So I know I can't skate. So I
can't skate.
I already know if we go to the skating rink, I'm about to watch you guys go around the skating rink. Now, can I laugh and joke when y'all fall? Of course I'm gonna do that. But I'm not gonna get out there with the little thing. And no. We're not gonna.
Not happening.
Okay.
Not happening.
But you tried.
I tried. You know, I did try. But
and so now you know, right? Yeah, now you have Okay, so
Never
now I can
again.
eliminate that. But now let me try something else.
Yeah, never fucking again. But the other side of that too is what I wanted to say when we're talking about it is, and we talked about this before, time. And it is so crazy. I have conversations with people, even like all the way to current day, you know, and it's just like they're upset. They want to do something different. They're looking for whatever it is, you know, or even if they have something that they know that they like, then it's always, well, I don't have the time. Like I don't have the, like, I want to write, but I don't have the time. Well, motherfucker, you're talking to me right now. You made time to tell me you don't have time,
right.
you know, or they say that when they really want something, but they don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that drives me nuts. I get it because there's a lot of things that I want, and my mental state will take me out of it. Mm-hmm. But they're like, I will never say I don't have the time.
I think when you say you don't have the time, you speak out of your mouth almost a death sentence. And that may sound crazy, right? But if you say I don't have time, literally time begins to shrink.
Yes, it does.
Because you're speaking that thing into existence, right? And so if every day, man, I don't have enough time. Man, I don't have enough time. There are going to be some things that you will never accomplish because you've spoken running out of time every day of your life.
Yeah, no,
right?
for sure.
And I just believe that. I believe that the thing, life and death is in the tongue, right? And the things that we say and we continue to say, then our whole being begins to funnel itself through that conversation. And if we continue to do it on a daily basis, I don't have the time, I don't have the time, I don't have the time, then you won't. You'll never find it.
It's crazy. It just, yeah, and it blows my mind. Like over the course of my life, you know, beginning to end, I can think of so many people, not so many, because I don't talk to that many people, but I can think of a lot of people who have spent so much time telling me they don't have any time.
Yeah, right.
Like it's just great. I don't have any time. We just spent 30 minutes.
Yeah, you spent an hour in that no time conversation.
Yeah, we don't have any fucking time.
Right.
And we do have time. We obviously, you got time because you're bugging the fuck out of me about not having any fucking time, you know? And that in itself is a drain. That's when I get to the point of having to choose myself, because you complaining all the goddamn time is draining me.
I think the thing is you don't have anything that you're willing to do with that time, because we make it. We'll create time for what we enjoy doing. And so if you know you don't have anything that you enjoy, then no, you're not going to have time for anything, because there's nothing that's going to draw you into that light, because I really don't enjoy anything.
I don't know. I think I mean that's definitely there, but I also think that there's a lot of things where I don't know. You know, because we talk about this quite a bit. Working out. Yeah. Let's be real.
I don't enjoy working out.
This shit's not enjoyable.
So that's why I don't make time for it. We gonna be clear. I don't enjoy it. I like the results. I like the end game, but I don't like this middle piece. Is crap for me. Yeah. So no, I don't enjoy that.
It's not enjoyable, right? But that's a lot of people need to do it.
Yeah, right? Of course. So that feels like another burden.
But how do you choose yourself in that situation, right? It's little things like that, right? Because there's a lot of people that can benefit health wise by getting out there, but that's a shitty thing to do. You either have to do it super early in the morning, or you gotta do it at night when you're fucking tired, but it has to be done. But once you start doing it and you get into that rhythm, it's different, right? It's different. And then all of a sudden now there's time for it because it's part of your day, you know, and you can go on and do whatever it is that you need to do.
You've built consistency around it.
Yeah. So you have
And
to
it becomes a
choose
habit.
as a choice. That's you. That's
Yep.
you choosing you at the most inconvenient.
Yeah, right.
Inconvenient time. And I guess that's kind of what I want. I would love people to be able to make those choices, right? Like it's always, and that goes back to, right, choosing yourself sometimes is difficult because it involves having a difficult conversation. Well, sometimes that difficult conversation is with yourself and acknowledging where you are mentally, physically, emotionally, and making a choice for yourself, which may set you back in the short term, but benefit you in the long term, you know, over time, and then seeing that through till the end, you know, making people think that, see that, visualize that, and then take it all the way, you know, ultimately. That's what I would love to see. That's what I'd love to see for myself and for the people that are around me. You know, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking about my mom in this conversation, right? She went from her parents' house to her first semester of college, ended up getting pregnant first semester of college, and now she's married to my dad, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so that started a 51-year connection, right, of marriage, where she went from one home to another home immediately, right?
Yeah.
And never really had time for herself.
Right. Yeah.
Now that my dad's passed, my mom is now figuring out her time, right?
Yeah.
And she's figuring out what she enjoys doing that is not connected to somebody else or connected to their thought process or even their input, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things that I hope that we can do today without having to lose somebody in order to get it, right? Or lose something in order to recognize that who am I in this moment, right? And what are the things that I really love and enjoy doing? Can I do them all in a day? No. But can I do several of them over a month? Possibly. Can I do one a month for a year? And then I've taken care of myself at least 12 times this year,
Yeah.
right? And so we have to put in some type of rhythm. And I'm talking to myself, right? These conversations are always, reflective, right? We're talking about what can I do for me?
Yeah, for sure.
What are these things that I need to do for me? I've been talking about going fishing for the last 2 years. I still hadn't made it, right?
Yeah.
Because something else comes up, there's always some other reasoning why. But if I go and I come back, right? Because it's two of my perfect things, fishing and the water.
Yeah.
I already told you about the water.
Yeah.
So if I can get out there and do it and feel that tug on the end of the line, I feel like some stress goes out there with it. And then I come back a better person.
Yeah.
I come back a better person. And so we have to. I believe we have to, beyond a shadow of a doubt, begin to rethink our usage of time and what those things that are important to us. And if you don't have something, try something.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Because this is a thought that I have now. Check out the Deep MC's mug right there. Check it out. Yeah. So you said something, and it's leading me back to what you said in the very beginning, right? So you talk about fishing, and you talk about going out there and the tug of the line, and the relief of the stress, and like all these things, finding time for yourself to be a better person, right? And this is something that you say you need for you, right? But this is also something that everybody needs something like that in their course of their life, right? And then I think about when you're talking about your son and the toy thing and this and that and all that other stuff, and in between that, everybody bear with me. This is a story that's coming around in a circle here, right? So in the middle of that, though, what we have is the rat race, right? So that's that ongoing circle. And you have your son on one side, you have you on the other side. And when you have a family and you have kids and you have whatever, it's very easy to get caught in this centerpiece circle that is the rat race. And now you have to find time to break out of that circle so that you can be a better person and contribute more to the circle that's in the middle, but also have time, right, for yourself. Mm-hmm. But on the backside of that, your son who you're raising, or your daughter, your family, or whoever else is out there that you're raising, they become part of this circle. And on this side, where you're teaching him to share, to be a good person, to be whatever, I think a lot of people miss, and I don't have kids, so don't, fuck me if you don't want to learn my advice, but I feel like a lot of people miss teaching the children how to have that break over here and really find who they are and allow them to be them. Because what happens is, as they grow up, then they become part of this circle, and then it's, well, now you got to play this sport, and I want you to be out here and do this and do that and do school and after school programs and do this and do that, and we're not giving them that time for them to break off. And then once they get there, then they graduate, then get a job, then do this and do that, and then now they are the person that's trying to find that break. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it's not really a question.
We perpetuated
a statement.
the cycle. Right?
Exactly.
We've continued the cycle because all that they see us doing is working and providing and doing all these other kind of things. But when do we go on a vacation and have fun? When do we, sit down and we laugh, or we play a video game, or we do these other kind of things together to show them, hey, it's okay.
Yes, it's
just
okay.
to chill.
And I think a lot of people miss that, even with their kids, right?
Yeah.
You go on vacation and you come back and you say, man, I need another vacation.
I need a vacation from the vacation.
Because even the vacation is the rat race, because it's probably got to fit all of.
Because we're not doing this for another 18 months.
Exactly. So we gotta get it all in while we can.
Yeah. Right.
And you burn yourself out. I don't know if that makes sense to people listening, but and he can say what he say, but this is the first time in my life where I feel like I've chosen me, and I did it under the cover of darkness, right? And it was the book, okay? Yeah.
And
link in the description below.
In the description below. But that's not what this is about. I think this is because it's the best example I have,
right?
At 43, for having chosen me, right? And so I'm learning and I'm taking advantage of what it's bringing without apology. And this is the first time I've ever done that in my life, right? And so because I have these journals and I have these books and we did the what do you call them? The vision boards and all this other kind of crap that everybody said you should do, right? At the beginning of the year, you make these resolutions, all of this stuff. I went back to a sketchbook that I had where I'd put these kind of dreams and goals and all of these things in it. And I had taken paper and put it in the book. And I went in there and there was a page about being an author. And I looked at that, and I did that probably 4 or 5 years ago with no real idea of how, when, where, or what. But when I looked at it, I was like, oh, wow. I am.
Yeah.
And the way that it happened was most people didn't even know. Like, there's some people who are really mad at me because one, they didn't know I was writing a book. They didn't know it was being published. They didn't know anything about it until they see me posting on my Facebook page about, hey, go get it. It's at Amazon.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Go get it. It's at Amazon. What have you been doing? Why didn't I know? You didn't tell me. We just had lunch last week.
Yeah.
The thing is I made up in my mind that I was not going to let anybody else talk me out of it. Or at this point, I knew enough of what I wanted to produce that I didn't need another contribution.
Yeah.
Because contribution sometimes will throw you off. Somebody else's opinion will kind of sway you because they're thinking from their own personal
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Comfort or need, and will not intentionally, but then will sway you to the right or to the left out of your idea. And I feel like this is the very first time I've ever done that without that burden.
Right.
To have to prove or show somebody else or or have their opinion and then take their opinion into consideration and then show them where their opinion mattered in what I was doing. Right? That's the rat race. That's that crap that we do on a consistent basis.
Man.
Is inviting people in, taking on their full opinion, and then having to prove that you heard them.
You heard what they said.
That you heard what they said in your actions in another way.
Yeah.
That burns you out.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it does.
That burns you out. And this is the first time I said, man, whatever comes with it, I'm going to take it.
Right.
Whatever interview I have, whatever sale I make, wherever this takes me, I'm going. And if anybody else wants to go with me, let's go. But I'm not, and it's not me negating my responsibilities.
Yeah.
But I'm no longer, there's a different type of
freedom.
I guess freedom that I've never experienced.
Yeah.
And that I'm still a little bit scared of. Oh dang. Should I do that? Like, can I do that? Is that okay?
Right.
And I run through that in my mind, and I remind myself, Aaron, you said you were going to take what comes with it. So take what comes with it and let's move forward.
Exactly.
And that's the journey for me, right? And sometimes it takes you moving under the cover of darkness, right? With the thing you said you wanted to do, so that you don't have a lot of opinion about it. And if it fails, okay, you did it. If it's a success, okay, you did it. But either way, you pull the trigger, and now you have a target that either you hit or you missed. But you have something you can gauge, right? You can readjust. When we went to, and I'm long-winded on this because when we went to the gun range.
Yeah.
And you were telling me it's a slight movement, up, down, or to the right or to the left. It's not these big, huge things that you have to shift. It's just a little slight movement. It's your elbows a certain way. It's your body structure a certain way that is causing it to move up or down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's those little slight movements that I believe that if we take them, the target is right there. We keep missing it by that much, but it's not a huge movement. It's a slight movement.
Slight movements make a big difference in the long run, right? Yeah, man. I like it. Let's leave it right there. I think that's a good place to.
Sure.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We appreciate you listening for sure. But we need your help.
Yeah, we need your help. We need you to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can continue to make great content for you guys.
Yeah. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe.
And it's right here on the screen. Everything you need.
Right there. Thank you so much, guys, for listening.
All right, take care.